New scene this morning. Instead of this, I didn't make you wait. I gave you this. And if I keep talking, maybe I can convince you that I actually did that on purpose. No, I didn't. And there's a reason. There's a real good reason, and that is, for the past 5 minutes, some fool gardener with a weed whacker decided that he wanted to deposit himself right outside my window here. And I'm watching the countdown, and the thing is getting closer and closer, and he's getting louder and louder as if he has a watch, and he knows exactly when to make the most noise. And finally, gotta tell you, during the countdown, he stopped. Wow, wow, wow. And I was so focused on him, I forgot to push the right button. So here we are. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch, and drink it if you got it. First order of business. Also, any more gardening noises, you'll understand. Rick says, I'm lucky there's never anybody cutting my yard. Well, I live in this community, and one of the things about this community is they're supposed to mow the grass. We've had so much rain. We've had so much rain the past couple of weeks that they come out in the morning and they start mowing, and then they get rained out, and they come back the next day. And they've been trying to get my grass cut now for over 2 days. And I thought they finished yesterday, but evidently they didn't. So bright and early this morning, lawnmowers, weed whackers, edgers, blowers. We haven't got to the blowers yet, so. But as they say, the show must go on, and I'm happy to see my lawn mowed, so I'm not complaining to them, for sure. Can you imagine what they would say? I know the management of this place would, if I call them and says, listen, between 8:30 and 10 o'clock, could you please not mow the grass around my place? That wouldn't go over too big, and I wouldn't blame them, so I couldn't do that. So anyway, good morning, everybody. How are you? How's everybody doing on a Thursday morning? What is it? July 17th? Yes, I can't believe it. We're heading to the end of July already. It's been almost a month since we were officially started summer. And days are getting shorter. It's true what they say, I guess. The older you get, the faster time seems to fly. You know, I hope today goes off with no technical hitches. I'm crossing my fingers. I don't expect any. But one of the things that I bought myself for Prime's Day was another one of those new Delta 3 backup batteries, solar generators, call them what you want. And the purpose of this one, it was a newer model, and it can also double as a UPS. And I said, wow, that'd be great for my computers. If I plugged them in, I could power my whole studio on this thing and power it for hours in case it's a power failure. So I hooked it up last night and turned it on this morning and gave it a workout, and it seems to be doing great. So right now, my entire studio, I'm talking about everything, from the lights that light me up, to the computers, to all my network infrastructure, my routers, switches, my cable box, everything that relies on power that would keep me from being live. Oh, there goes my motion detector out front as the blower guy goes by. So if you allow me 1 second to I'm trying to turn off the alerts. I just got an alert, so it won't let me do that. Okay. So we'll just have to listen to the chimes as they ring again. So At least they're working. Can't complain about that. So anyway, I have my entire studio now powered by this new gadget, and it is being powered by the regular electricity from the grid, but if it should fail, it switches over and it'll keep me going for 2 hours. Now, the idea of that is not to have interruptions. So let's just hope that the thing that I'm putting in, as usually happens, to solve the problem creates bigger problems than I had in the first place. Kind of reminds you of prescription drugs, doesn't it? You take them to fix something, and they make 4 more things worse. They make things worse. I got a few things to talk about, not very many, while the guys are out there blowing and weeding and whatever else they're doing. Let me start to say hi to some of the early birds this morning. While we wait for more people to show up, 68 of you so far. Where's everybody? Louis Latino says, my motion alert made me flinch. That's the current chat. That's the current. Here's the blower guy. He's blowing off the neighbor's driveway on to the right of me. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but it's loud. It's loud. First one in last night was Gary at 7:52. No, still looking forward to the new shirt. We have birds, parrots, flowers, palm trees, a veritable tropical forest. And I love this shirt. I love this shirt. I'm beginning to run out of shirts that actually fit me. This one, a little bit large, but not as big as some I have. I think my daughter bought this for me maybe a year or... Let's all wait while the weed eater stops, the blower stops. Okay. I guess it probably isn't too bad. Hopefully my microphone is filtering most of that out. Where was I? My daughter bought me this about a year ago, or a year and a half ago, Christmas before last, and I've got a little smaller since then, but it's a beautiful shirt. These shirts are all, they're artwork, and they're not big name expensive shirts, but the fabrics are beautiful, beautiful. So Gary says, don't disappoint. I hope I haven't, Gary. There he goes. Aunt B says, hello. Hi, Aunt B. How are you? She claims to be number 2. Smoothie. Number 3 for Thursday. Yes, yes. And Lizzie says number 4. Hi, Lizzie. Rick says, see you in the morning. As I frantically work the mixer. Peter was here last night. Looking forward to tomorrow's show. Farrell, Grandma was here. Wendy, how are you doing? Lady June was here. It is now 1:27 a.m. and Graceful Lily chimes in from Canada, Ontario, Canada. Good to see you. Good to see you. You're having smokes and wildfire. Wow. Wow. I hope it goes away soon. Mike Silly from Tampa. Morning, Mike. United Carnivore. And we have Thomas, Target Prime Rib. I have to work today, Mitch. Work. What is it? What do you call that you do every day, sitting having live streams? As we'll be here, have a great show. Thank you. And I love the idea of intermittent lion diet. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. I've unleashed a monster there. Stephanie Lawrence, welcome to the private community. Stephanie joined and at 5:09 a.m. this morning, so we hope to see you, Stephanie, at the private community live stream tonight at 7 p.m. With all the gifties and the new memberships we have, we're up to about 180 members of that. So hopefully we'll have a rousing little panel tonight. Everybody will be unashamed and unafraid to chime in and help us out. We'll see. They're always fun. Michael Pregler, how you doing, Michael? Good morning to you. Rick was back here at 7:28. Rick is the only guy that's got a sound effect attached to his posts. And Michael Pregler is back again this morning. Mike Seeley Sr. And Tuca. I don't know what clown you're referring to. Are you talking about me? Clown's in the house. How are you doing, boss? I'm doing fine. Doing just fine. Now that it's quieted down a little, doing better. Sandy Blythe is here. Good morning, Sandy. Lori is here. Lori Whitesell. Good morning, beautiful people. Windows wide open. Yeah, great. Enjoyed a few days of summertime or whatever it is you have. Wayne Herman from Lake Gaston, North Carolina is with us, rocking keto. Rockin' keto, Amy. Let me wet my whistle. Take a shot of my electrolytes. Any of you remember W.C. Fields? All the old people have to. W.C. Fields. He used to carry a thermos everywhere you went. All day long he would sip out of it. And whenever anybody asked him, what's in the thermos, he would say, pineapple juice. It's pineapple juice. And he'd drink it all day long. And we all know what it really was. It was whiskey. So one day he comes out. This, I think, is a true story. And he takes a sip. He spits it out. And he goes, hey, God, somebody's put pineapple juice in my pineapple juice. They played a practical joke on him. I thought that was very funny. He was quite a character, that guy. There's a lot of controversy around him, but W.C. Fields. Wow, back in the 20s and 30s, I guess, silent movie days. Rick is here. Rick says, it's already active here. Okay, and Wendy Furrow, Grandma, we're trying to sneak up on 8:30s, 8:20, Lady June. Aaron's with us. How you doing? Loretta Nadow, good morning, darlings. Have a fabulous day. Shaping up that way. Watched Kelsey a little bit this morning. Had an interesting guest. Guy makes, if you haven't seen it, guy makes lard-based cosmetic products, face creams and moisturizers and things like that out of lard. And they got into a very interesting discussion about fats and where all this stuff comes from and why the commercially available stuff is usually garbage as usual. So, and he uses pigs. He uses lard-based stuff, whereas most of those that are animal-based will use tallow. But they had a pretty educational discussion about it, and I found it interesting. So I was Loretta and trying to say hi to people I haven't said hi to. Smoothie was here. Good morning, Smoothie. 8:26 we have Brian B. Matt. Hi, Brian. How are you? And hey, EDT's good morning, Mitch. Good morning, Mitch and friends. Still at 8:26. Tina Schweikerath checked in, and it's Lewis said hello. Hello, Lewis. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Larry Brian checked in. We got up to 8:27 now. Wow. Barry Simon. Hi, Barry. How are you? How are you? And let me take this opportunity right now to turn off the banner. Hey, I remembered. I remembered today about that. And Where there he is, Barry Simon, and Amy came back, and Smoothie came back, and Lori Weitzel. The heat wave is finally over. Yeah. Wait a minute, Lori. It'll probably come back. Enjoy the break. Enjoy the break. Michael Prig was back here at 8:29, and Lizzie and Lady June and the Peach Baron. I like that. Good morning, everyone. I am driving and listening. Well, thank you, Peach Baron. And today, my friends, the winner, Louis. Congratulations, Louis, you did it. First at 8:30, followed by Rick, Spooey, Graceful, Lily, Don, Shanger, Lori again. Who is this? Everybody's cute. Cons something, concept. Okay, it's cute. Sometimes a little hard for me to read on this monitor, but I got it. Welcome, I haven't seen your name before. Good to see you. Says morning. Morning, right back at you, Concept. Those are the names that stand out, I guess. If you just put Fred in there, people probably wouldn't know how distinct and individual you might be with a name like just Fred. You have to call yourself something else. Sandra McDonald, hi, Sandra. How are you? From the bottom of the world. It's evening down there. Good evening to you. Still 8:30. Gary. Peter chimed in. Hiya, Peter. And Lizzie at 8:30. And Grace Lily again. And who is this? Max D, good morning, everybody. Coffee time. Max D, how are you? The magic word. The magic word. All right, we still 8:30. No, that was the last. Lizzie starts. It's a vegan. Where? Oh no. Warning. Danger, Will Robinson. Yes. I want to talk a little bit about that. I'll stop right here. That's one of the things I had. And the conversation was kind of prompted by a reaction to my video yesterday where I took it upon myself, mighty presumptuous of me, but I took it on myself to invent a new diet. Well, there's a lot of diets out there. How they got named or invented is interesting, but the diets have always been there is the point. The diets have always been there. A comment on that video last night kind of prompted me thinking like this, and I do think like this a lot. The comment went, well, that's how I've been eating for a long time. Saying basically, there's nothing original about this. I have been eating that way already. How dare you how dare you claim it as yours? Was the gist of the comment. I laughed. How dare Sean Baker claim to be the originator of the phrase, the carnivore diet, which has become an identity for so much of us. Nisha Berry lays claim to the phrase ketovore. Not keto, not carnivore, but right in the middle. Do you think in the entire world, before Nisha named it, that nobody ate like that? Ate just enough carbs a day to fall in between the 20 grams? The point I'm trying to make is they are stupid labels. That's all they are. They are constructs. They are names we give to things that have existed since the beginning of time, but nobody ever really gave them a name. Religion is kind of like that. 15,000 years ago, I'm sorry, they might have worshipped the sun, but anything that we identify as today did not exist until some human being gave a name to some natural phenomenon or something that they observed or felt, and then people started to join in. People started to join in. Next thing you know, they started identifying as that. Next thing you know, they started to look down their nose at people who weren't identifying like they did and tell them, well, I'm a this or that, you're not, and so you're wrong and I'm right. And the next thing you know, we got World War I and World War II. We're doing this now over these stupid names for diets. We have a civil war between vegans and carnivores, and each one of us has taken a side, and we're fighting. I'm a carnivore. Well, I'm a vegan and you're wrong. No, I'm a carnivore and you're wrong. You're going to get sick. Well, I hate you. I hate you. I'm going to try to destroy you. I'm going to hound you in your comments. I'm going to troll you because you are a subhuman being. How dare you eat animals? So we identify as these things. And we see it all the time. I'm getting pissed off about it. Yes, I drink coffee. And what really got me this morning was on Kiltz's show. He stopped everything. I know he feels the same way. He stopped everything and said to the guest, I gotta take a detour here. And he said, I got a comment here that said, you drink coffee, you're not a carnivore. And he said his little piece, but not maybe as emphatically as I'm saying it. Stop. Stop taking these things to that absurd extreme of coming out and being holier than thou. Because you can't claim to be a carnivore if you drink coffee. It's stupid. It's stupid. And I don't know if I contributed to that yesterday by adding in another midpoint between this diet and that diet and giving it its own name. But I figure if Nisha can do it, so can I. These are guidelines, not religions. For God's sake, just bad enough we got the religions we got to deal with and all the slight differences. For God's sake, how many different sects of Christianity are there now? Hundreds. Where do you fit in? Where do you draw the line? The best news, don't identify yourself as anything other than a human being trying to get by in this world. Carnivore is not what you are. Carnivore, for all of us, when referencing your diet, is what we practice, what we do. But we got to stop. We got to stop dividing ourselves as human beings and identifying with these groups that can't coexist with the other group. There's nobody on this planet that can live up to the pure carnivore of some of these Nazis. Sean Baker can. Sean Baker had a little pain in his shoulder one time and went and started eating carbs for a month to see if that helped. Lighten up, people. Lighten up. And here I come. And I said, great. Here I come. And I make it worse with my intermittent lying. Now, it's a concept. I truly expect, if anybody's paying any attention, for it to gain a life of its own. And if people think that it's a good idea, they'll start doing it. And nobody will ever know where it came from or remember if it catches on. That's like most people don't know Sean Baker is credited for the carnivore name of the carnivore diet because it was the title of his book. We know Nisha and Ken Berry came up with the idea, well, maybe keto is too many carbs, maybe carnivore is too strict, we'll come up with ketovore. And that's exactly what my intermittent lion is supposed to be. The meat version of ketovore. Halfway in between. Normal carnivore, where you can eat all the animal products and eat anything your little heart would desire, after all, because who cares? It's you. It's your life. It's your health. Why do any of us get so insulted when somebody claims to be a carnivore, yet drinks coffee? Because coffee comes from plants. My friends, there's a few things that might not be suitable for little family ears, and I won't say them, but they do involve, let me say, having a clamped shut anal sphincter. Is that without actually using a dirty word? Do you understand what I'm saying? I think it's funny. It's funny, and the more you see it, and the more you hear it, and the more comments I read like that of people trying to one up everybody else because they're better than you, because they're a carnivore. Nobody really defined these things. The definition, if you look it up, of carnivore is an animal that eats 70% of its nutrition from animal sources. That's it. That's it. That qualifies as a carnivore. Then I saw another one was basically said lions will eat fish too. And that's all it said. Is somebody trying to tell me I missed something or I'm doing something wrong? That's not what we have defined as a lion diet, unfortunately. Yes, lions can eat fish. A lion can eat you, for God's sake. They don't just have to eat cows. They eat anything that's, especially ruminant animals, and does another thing. The lion diet. Can a lion diet person eat? Oh, there's another question I got in a comment. Do you have to stick to only beef, or can you eat other ruminant animals? How fine, how ridiculously anal are we going to get about the definitions of these terms? These are broad things. And you can deviate from them if they don't cause you a lot of harm on occasion. We can't keep doing this. It drives people away. It makes us look like obsessed fools over semantics of what we call the difference between a diet where you don't drink a cup of coffee a day and you do drink a cup of coffee a day. Do we really need a name for every possible variation? I came up with this intermittent lion thing, which was, I said in my video, it turned out it was going to start out as a goof, a way for me to make fun of just exactly what I was talking about, of these people naming these things. And the more I thought about it, the more I said, there's a hole there, and people need to put names to things, and people need to have a pattern and a guide that they need to go to. They don't just listen to their bodies. They want to plan everything. I said, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea. It wouldn't be such a bad idea if there was a kind of name that says, lion diet is great, but too extreme for most people. Carnivore is great, but many people aren't getting the benefits because they're eating too much lean chicken, too much fish, and not enough beef, or ruminant meat, which is the most nutritious. There's got to be a happy balance between the two. nowhere did I consider saying you must eat so many grams of this a day or so many grams of that. I said, okay, let's go a few days on, 1 day off. I said, it would work for me. That would work fine for me. That's exactly what I'd almost been doing anyway. But I was eating more fish and chicken than I thought would be helpful. And when I started the way towards the beef, I felt better. So I said, well, that's a good idea. I'll do that. And always looking for an excuse to make a YouTube video, I said, I'll give it a name. And I do intermittent fasting, so why not intermittent diet, intermittent lion? And it made a lot of sense, because when you do this stuff and you're on a lion diet and you're on it for 6 months and somebody says to you the word cheat, you don't consider binging on carbs. A cheat to you might be some tasty chicken or ribs or fish. And since that stuff is fish, at least, is very healthy, I said, good. Here's a scheme that will keep you on that strict, straight, and narrow, at least for 2 days in a row. Then you take a day, and we'll call it a cheat day, because everybody looks forward, if we could do it, if we could cheat with no consequences, we'd love it. So we look forward to cheating. But our cheating is different from everybody else. Our cheating is just going away from the ruminants and eating some fish or chicken, some ribs, some fried salmon patties, all the things that I've made that I really like, that I would not want to give up on a permanent basis and be that rigid. So this being a lion diet, every for 2 days, taking a day off and eating healthy foods, could actually be beneficial. There may be nutrients in those, especially omega-3s in fish, eggs especially. I'm not going to live my life without eggs, and as far as I'm concerned, lions don't eat eggs, do they? Now, they may. We don't talk about it. The lion diet that you hear does not include eggs. It's a strict elimination diet for people with serious medical conditions. It's not necessary, other than that, to restrict yourself to just red meat, salt, and water. But we have Anthony Chafee who does it. We have John Baker who does it. So we think it's a thing. There are very few people on this planet, believe me, that spend their whole entire life eating nothing, no exceptions, no cheating, than red meat, salt, and water. Our ancestors certainly ate a wider variety of foods than that to get by. So I wanted to take a few seconds to talk about that. And for all of those of you to feel the need to tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I am and what I'm not, and how dare I this and how dare I that, have a nice day. Where was I? Sorry it takes so long on that, but it's an interesting thing. And that's one of the reasons I like Kilt so much. He's easy going about it. He does what he does, but yeah, you have a martini every once in a while. It's not going to kill you unless you're an alcoholic, and that martini leads to many martinis. That's the criteria. Eat a little sugar once in a while. Have a veggie once in a while. Unless that leads to a binge or an addiction, it's okay. Problem is, with sugar, most of us can't handle it. If you're not addicted to something, you can stay away from it. That makes dieting easy if you don't have cravings. But if you have cravings for anything, you need to abstain. You need to stay away from it. What else do I have here? Talked about that. Buy me a coffee. You all know how that works. Amazon links. I put 3 new items on my Amazon links today. And aren't you dying? Aren't you just dying to know what they are? And they were all by request, believe it or not, by request. So let me show you. They're on there for those of you that had requested. Let's see what we got here. We have I used it in one of my, I talked about it. This 3-brush cleaning brush set that I bought. Let me get you. Lizzie kept me company through that whole rant. How about that? Lizzie said, I say, get my name out the screen. You're embarrassing me. Sorry, Lizzie. I don't notice those things. This, 3 brushes, different shapes and sizes. I use this brush here to clean the grill plate on my air fryer. And I'm using that like, grilling hamburgers and steaks from frozen. It takes a couple of seconds underwater with that brush to get all the stuff out between the grills. And I talked about it. I purchased it on June 30th, so it's new for me. It costs like $8. Actually, it's 20% off now. And they're pretty good quality. So, and it has a scraper that's safe for Teflon. I mean, not Teflon, non-stick pan. So I put that on my links, and I knew it was going to happen. Everybody wants to be Chef Mitch, and that's the hat I bought. And they put your name on it. My name's not Chris, but that went over fun. That was fun. Today, as I put that on my links, and then today, this is coming. So, not today, but tomorrow, if I cook something and make a video, I'm going to be all regaled out. And I know that I have to probably find a little meat thermometer that I can stick in that pocket, because you can't be a chef without that. But short pants and all, I'm inventing a character that a lot of people do. They have different characters they play. Well, I'm going to play Chef Mitch from here on out and try to add a little levity to these things, a little entertainment, and keep it from getting too boring. If it gets to the point where I'm getting too silly, please tell me, and we'll cut it back. I know Sean Baker tried that, if you remember, a while back. He would make these videos trying to be funny. I admired him for that. He would dress up in a woman's dress and a wig, and in a falsetto voice, he would kind of make fun of things, vegans and everything else. I don't know if it was me. There's no demeaning me, but he's got a title, he's got a position, he's got reputation and stature, and a lot of people thought he was demeaning himself. But and Visas, I honestly may buy that hat for my chef, for my smoke. Buy that for my chef, for my smoked rib. Oh, it's just fun. It's just fun. I don't care if you buy a chef's hat. I'm not trying to get anybody to, but somebody asked me. I put that in, and all right, so I did. I did that this morning. That was Dave Mack who did the Woman the Vegan parody, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, Dave Mack did it first. But Sean Baker did it. Honest to God. He did it a couple of times. And it wasn't always, I don't remember that much, but he did a few things where he was trying to be silly, dressed up in different outfits and things, and then abruptly stopped. So somebody probably told him, don't do that. You have a reputation. You're dignified. You're not a clown. Guys like me, I can be a clown, make fun, demean myself, and nobody. That's what comedians do. That's what comedians do. You remember, I don't know if you remember, you saw that when I got up there in February on the stage with Kilts and Uvati and Annette Bosworth and Bella Steak and Butter Gal and all the other stars and experts, and there's Mitch, and Kilts introduces me. I had no idea I was going to be on stage. I said, tell us about yourself, take 5 minutes. And I started talking. And I said, you know, I'm the only guy up here that doesn't have a string of letters after his name. It was true. Everybody else had, you know, MD, PhD. Not me. I'm Mitch. I said, I'm a comedian. That's it. And I would be very happy if people just considered me a comedian because I feel much better when I'm laughing, and I'm always looking for something funny. I have a dark sense of humor, so I identify as a comedian. Are there two letters for that? CM, CD, CMD, comedian. Maybe I'll put those behind my name. I could put OGC behind my name. I could put a string of letters a mile long. I'm a certified general contractor. I'm a licensed commercial pilot. I'm a flight instructor. I get to come up with initials for everything that I've accomplished in life and end up with a string of letters this long. But society doesn't recognize any of those things as letter worthy in your title. I get no respect. All right, I have not even approached the chat yet, and it is already 10 after 9. Some days I may not be able to dive deep in with you guys, but I hope it's never too boring. I want to say hi to some people I don't recognize. Preston Hosh. Oh, God. I'm tired this morning a little bit. The construction on the highway kept me up half the night. And Holscher, Preston. Good morning to you, Preston. Welcome. Don't recognize that name, but sometimes I can actually see sharper again without my glasses. I need new glasses. They're too strong now. My eyes are getting better, yet going out and trying to get a new set of glasses after you had a stroke is kind of ambitious. So I have to suffer with this. I have another set of glasses that I can read with, but I think they're even stronger. If I take off my glasses, the letters really get crisp, but I see three of them because of my stigmatism and prism. I've talked about that. So I'll have to lean forward sometime or lift my head up and look through my reading glasses. Sonia Bainham, good morning to you. Another name that I don't recognize. This one I recognize. Maureen Atsali, how are you? How are you? Good to see you this morning. Certainly recognize this name. Deborah Wisegal's here. Hiya, Deborah. How you doing? And Stephanie Boyd, good morning to you from Detroit. Got a cold front. Lucky you. Lucky you. Everybody's saying it's tough. It's tough. Simpson Johns is here. How you doing, my friend? Always good to see you. And we have Lizzie chimed in. Peter is here. Peter's talking to Deborah. Please be patient. Vitamin P, as Ken Berry says. Sandy Blythe, looking handsome, Mitch. Take any compliments thrown my way, gracefully. Lori says, send her all my shirts. She can alter them for me. Oh, thank you so much, Lori. That's a very, very, very sweet offer. But it's not necessary because the only time I would ever wear them these days, not going out, they're kind of, a lot of them are from a bygone era, is to sit here. And if they're too big, they're too big, but you don't see them anyway. So I would hate to go through all that. But thank you so much. What a sweet offer. Appreciate it. Gina Cav is here. How you doing? Good morning, everyone, she says. And Rick is here. Rick is always here. And we will honor that with a quack. Good to see you, Rick. Standing foot. He prefers to mow himself. Well, not me. They do the mowing around here, and some other people though want to mow themselves. They just don't think the guys do that good a job, so they mow themselves. But damn it, you don't think they're getting the credit for the fact you can get any money off because of that? No way, no way. So if I'm paying for it, let them do it. I'm not that picky. They aren't that bad. They aren't that bad. Media Toots is with us, and Brian Dish is with us. How you doing, Brian? And hey, question. I forgot to tell you. You guys know that already. Put a QQQ in front of your chat if you want me to see it, and I'll try to see it before we're done. How do you guys know this isn't pure vodka? I think about that. WC feels, egad, somebody put electrolytes in my electrolyte drink. Danny in Boston says, just right this second, Mitch, are there additional reasons to take electrolyte supplements beyond relieving leg cramps? Well, electrolyte, it's not just the leg cramps. I mean, you need potassium and magnesium for most of all the body functions that rely on electricity, which is about everything. Everything from oxidative phosphorylation, producing ATP in each individual cell, keeping your heart rhythms going. You get short or really low on some of these electrolytes, you get AFib, you get all kinds of problems. So yes, get tested if you don't know. They can test for levels, but those levels are very tightly controlled. And they pretty much don't tell you how much electrolytes you have in the bank, how much you have stored up, or whether you're just about to run out, but still in that normal range. That's what happens to people. That's what happens to people who are becoming a diabetic but don't know it. If they don't know that they're having to produce more and more insulin to achieve the same normal blood sugar levels, they keep doing what they're doing. They think the sugar's not hurting them, but every year they work their pancreas harder and harder until it gives up. And then after about 10 years, their doctor tells them, yeah, the reason you keep passing out and thirsty all the time and your feet are falling off is you're a diabetic. The simple answer is, in some cases, if you start having any symptoms or you get a routine annual blood check, they should test fasting insulin or C-peptides. They don't. Nobody does. Nobody in the normal standard medical community wants to see how much insulin you're producing, because the biggest clue of finding out you're becoming diabetic early would be a year-over-year increase in your fasting insulin and your C-peptides. These tests have been available. Ask your doctor if you're young. Why aren't you checking my insulin production? They don't know what you're talking about. Simple things like that could stop so much suffering. Well, there's fuel for another rant, isn't there? But I'm not going to do that. I had my rant for today. In case you forgot, my rant for today was about tight-ass, holier-than-thou people. Can't tolerate them. But no, electrolytes can't hurt you. So sometimes you have to say, okay, we know that the main source of electrolytes is going to be in the food we eat. We know that most of the food we eat, especially as carnivores, has to get their nourishment from the grass because they graze. We know that the amount of electrolytes in the soil is decreasing or almost gone in so many areas where they rape the soil, push chemicals in it, over farm it, don't let animals graze on it. So the soil doesn't have the potassium and magnesium. If the soil doesn't have it, it doesn't get in the animal. If the animal doesn't have it, it doesn't get in you. And same mystery with iodine. So the shortage of these things, you can almost take as a given. And unless you happen to be one of these that buys all your meat from a farmer that you personally know, and you come and visit your cow from the time it's born until it grows up, and you know exactly what fields it's in. And the farmer has had his fields tested to make sure that the soil contains all of the nutrients that the cow needs in the grass. And you're sure that the chickens that roam the pastures and lay the eggs you eat, if you're absolutely certain of that, you may be getting enough electrolytes these days. But if you're not certain, like 99.999% of us, it never hurts, in a prophylactic sense, to be proactive and take some. You don't have to take too much. You don't need massive doses of these things. In my electrolyte mix, it's a standard. Nowhere near what they say you need every day, but it's some. And I use leg cramps as a gauge to tell me whether I'm taking enough, because that's one of the symptoms I think that appears when you start to really need electrolytes. It depends on your lifestyle. Are you running around all day sweating like a pig in the sun? You got to sweat this stuff out of you. So I don't think it ever hurts. But not everybody needs it, because a lot of people do get enough of these things. Magnesium, in most meats, you'll find a lot of magnesium. In a strip of bacon, Wright's bacon, you find 90-something grams of it, milligrams. But you need 4,000 milligrams a day, so you got to eat a lot of bacon. Sip on the electrolytes. You got to drink a lot of that stuff to hurt yourself in any way, and overdose in any way. I do the same thing with iodine. Put a couple drops in my coffee. I forget some days. Some days I take it. But I figure, couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt. You know, the old Jews that I knew, and I'm getting to be an old Jew, you see them sitting around with their accents, and somebody comes along to them, or they give somebody advice. You should do this, you should do that. And the person says, that won't help. They say, couldn't hurt. Well, that's the attitude. Why not? Couldn't hurt. Lori, how was the private community live last night? It's tonight. It's tonight. I removed the banner. Thank you, Lori. You didn't miss it. It is tonight, Thursday night. I know how it is to get your days confused. I do it all the time. Every day is the same for me. We also have Teresa. Teresa Furness, spelled F-U-R-N-I-S-S. Good morning from Florida. 60 days on Carnivore, new to this channel, lost 15 pounds so far. Nice to meet you. Teresa, nice to meet you too. And congratulations and welcome. And I hope you find a home here. We have the greatest bunch of people, most helpful. Now, I share some of my people with some of these other guys, like Kilts and them. But they're misfits. This is the community. Not big. Not big. But you'll never meet a more wonderful group of human beings. I'm telling you. Realistic, smart people who actually have a soul and a conscience. Something getting very rare these days. Erin says she's back. How you doing? I'm 10 minutes into the stream. I'm an hour, and wow. I'm, what, 50 minutes behind. Okay, we'll just keep going. Let me look over. Papa Carter says, I'm 100% Jewish as far as I know. So am I, Peter. I am. My kids aren't, unfortunately. I didn't do my duty. Didn't listen to the rabbi and marry a Jewish girl. I'm sorry, but most of the Jewish girls I met, I couldn't tolerate. So the ones I picked, my first wife was a wonderful person. We just had differences. We grew apart. But my second wife, boy, did I pick wrong. She was a bipolar Italian, but very, very good looking. Yeah, I make mistakes. That was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life for all the wrong reasons. But at least I can admit it to myself. I don't just blame everybody else. Me, I'm part Jewish when I take the way Shabbat. Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I love self-deprecating humor, and some of the most Jewish humor is self-deprecating. These guys are making fun of themselves, talking about how bad their marriages are. You know, they better have very understanding wives that know that this lavish lifestyle they're living is because their husbands can do their shtick without you throwing them out or trying to take the house. So a lot of people, we got talking about Jewish here, huh? Do you know what you call a Jewish American princess in a waterbed, Lake Placid? That's funny, Peter. And you see, just like African Americans can use the N word and it means nothing, we can't. Well, we Jews can use words that we think are very, very offensive if somebody else uses them, because that's self-deprecating at that point. Jeff Johnson, the name you know. I just received the book Metabolical by Lustig. Looking forward to reading it. I think you'll probably find, not disappointing, because it's a brilliant book, but I think you find that everything that he says in that book, as you've heard already if you follow the carnivore and keto community on YouTube, because there's only so much information. It's like yesterday, I saw a new Anthony Chafee video with a very compelling thumbnail. And it was 15 minutes long, and I figured, okay, let's see what does Anthony Chafee have to say that's new. And I clicked on it, and it was a takeout from some other longer session or video or Q&A, and it was basically him. And I'm not finding fault with this, but this is going to illustrate the point I'm trying to make, that there isn't a whole lot of stuff we haven't heard yet. And like this book that I bought. I don't buy many books. I bought this book because I admire Sally Norton and her research. This is a book about the plant toxins, especially oxalates. It's a great book. But I didn't buy it because I wanted to reread what I've heard her say many times. I already knew about oxalates. I already knew all this stuff. Nothing I hadn't heard before. And I've experienced it. I've lived it with the kidney stones and everything, with the oxalate dumping. I've seen her interviews 5-10 times already. But I wanted to buy the book because in the book there are charts and tables, lists of every friggin' plant you can think of it, and the oxalate content of it. It's a reference book. I don't know if Lustig's book has those kind of things in it. If it does, those kind of books are worth having. They become reference books where you can look up things. You can find the same things. Every word in this book instantly on Google. But I like having it. I like having it. And those are the kind of, when I do buy a book, those are the kind of books I buy anymore. Let me know when you read it. Let me know when you read it. I did it again. Bobby Ghost says, I'm back. Yes. You've been back here for a while, booby. Aaron, thank you. Thank you. But let me know. I'm curious. Were there any eye-opening revelations that you learned reading the book that you hadn't heard already? I hope so. I hope so. But it's interesting. Crazy Horse, I haven't seen you before. Crazy Horse is here. How you doing, Crazy Horse? Welcome. Oxalates suck. Just had my 3 kidney stone surgery. Lost 90 pounds on carnivore, and the oxalate them caused massive stuff. Yeah, and that's where Sally Norton, following her and listening to her stuff, can really be helpful in how to slow down. And usually the way to slow down the dumbing is to not just give up oxalates cold turkey, but titrate off of them over a few months. Your body won't try to get rid of all that shit at one time. Chafee is looking more distinguished as he gets older. Well, most of us do. Get a few lines. Yeah, Chafee's a good-looking guy. You know, I mean, if I had to pick an actor to play Superman, I would pick the guy. I mean, he's one of these guys. He's just, you know, in all departments, this Superman. Very smart, doctor, athletic, and all that stuff. But sure, he's got his problems too. But I get back to that. I was watching his video yesterday, and it was the same speech. I've heard it 100 times. Not a word of it was new. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that. In fact, maybe I should do more of it, because the turnover in our audience and in the people that consider themselves part of our community is ongoing. And just because I said it 6 months ago doesn't mean that 80% of the people who are watching that video now have not heard it. And I liken it to a professor in a classroom with a new class every semester, and he takes his lesson plan, he turns back to page 1. Here we go again. Well, it's important for Chafee to keep doing that, because the way YouTube works is, as soon as a YouTube stops getting views, or a lot of views, they stop presenting it to new people. They stop pushing it out there. And they come to a screeching halt. And a year ago, a video that ended up with, say, 10,000 views, today might have 10,030 views, because some people were directed to it by search engines, but it's the new stuff that's getting the play. And you got to remake the videos. You got to restate the points. But for those of us that have seen it 100 times, it's a waste of time. And I watched a few minutes of it, and then I skipped to halfway and watched a few seconds, and I skipped to near the end, and it was the same speech where he talks about his life, how he discovered that plants are trying to kill you, the story about his professor, exactly the same words that his professor said to him when he says, I don't eat plants. My children don't eat plants. Plants are trying to kill you. And then Anthony tells how he reacted to that the same way, same intonation, same joke, I mean, that's his thing. And that's okay. It's very important in making the point. And he's been a tremendous asset to this way of eating community that we have, whether it be keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion, intermittent lion. I'm gonna insert that in there anytime I can, and I'm curious to see how it catches on, and if it gets to the point where, even though I came up with it, I will get no credit for any of it. I can't wait to hear hear those words come out of Ken Berry's mouth. And with all the chatting and communities and Reddit and Facebook and Discord and all that other stuff, these things can go viral and get a life of their own. Very rarely does anybody ever know where they came from. But I got my video on record, time-stamped and everything, where I claimed ownership, for what that's worth. And I don't want to own it, of the concept and term of finding a middle ground between an extreme lion diet and sloppy carnivore diet and establishing just a few basic rules. And that's what I'm doing now. Is it going to be 2 days on and 1 day off, or 3 days on and 1 day off? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I don't even know if any of it's going to make a difference. We'll see. But it might be a way for me to get it more benefit out of this way of eating without wanting anything or feeling deprived. And that's the most important thing, because if you want anything or you feel deprived in any way, you cannot sustain it indefinitely. That's the key with any diet. If you say to yourself, well, I can put up with that for a while, you fail. You have to live your life and be content and not feel like you're being shortchanged all the time, the things you want. The idea is to make those wants go away. And that's the beautiful, beautiful thing about carnivore. And I talk about it all the time, and I still keep bringing it up. The main problem, we all know the answers, but the main reason we can't do it is going to be addiction, addiction, and addiction. It's the top 3 reasons why people fail on all diets. Addiction, addiction, and addiction. And if you need the 4th and 5th reason, it would be addiction and addiction. It's like realtors. The most important thing in real estate, location, location, location. We've all heard those things, and there's a reason for that. It's because that's where the truth is. Those are root causes. No matter how much makeup you put on it, perfume you spray on it, it's still going to stink if you don't fix the root cause. And that's what carnivore fixes. It eliminates the root cause of all the cravings and the addictions, and that is the body's compelling the animal to get some of that stuff because it thinks you need it, or it makes you feel good. And we're helpless. And I keep telling people that, and they all tell me how strong they are and how much willpower they have. I hear that time and time again. Or how much knowledge they have about it. You're wrong, Mitch. You're wrong. Everything in moderation. You eat the rainbow body. You know, I come right on down the propaganda line. I say, okay, have a nice life. I think I'm almost at a point. It's already almost 20 minutes to Sandy Blythe remembers WC Fields, where it's going to be helpless for me to go through this whole entire chat and read anything. So or say hi to any more new people today. That's okay. I'll say hi to you tomorrow. Come back sooner or later. I just can't do it. There's just too much of it. He says, I still have prescriptions that carnivores seemingly no longer need. Does that put me on the sidelines? I think not. Our path is absolutely be. First of all, so many of us have damaged ourselves abusing it with their advice all these years, that there are things that we may need a little help with. We may need medications. So, because everything is a medication. Electrolytes, in essence, is a drug, a medication. It's a substance that the body needs. I wouldn't worry about it. If you trust your doctor and you don't think you're being hurt, when we get older, we have to make compromises. I had a comment yesterday from a guy who said, didn't know me, was probably a new person, just found me, and he watched my video, and he said, basically something along the lines of, I don't know if you know this, but your stroke affected your walking. He noticed something in my video when I walked around the kitchen that he thought maybe I didn't notice, that my stroke affected my walking. I answered it with, yeah. I'm learning. I have to learn to walk all over again. So thank you. You know, I mean, I can't be mean to these people. They mean well, but how absurd. Think about that. How absurd. Did you know that your walking was affected by your stroke? Well, I kind of got that feeling, my friend, as I was laying there paralyzed in the bed in the hospital. Yes. And when I couldn't balance when I first tried to stand up and always fall over, and for months I have to be very careful. Yeah, I kind of noticed that my balance is a little off, but thank you for pointing that out to me. How do you answer things like that? And my choice is to say, I give it a heart, and it says, "Old guy loves your comment." Well, I don't love these comments. Some of them I think are moronic. So I have to answer them, or I have to remove them, which gets people really mad when they can't find their comment again. So I don't generally remove comments, and if something's so bad that I can't tolerate it, I remove the user, remove the person. I hide them from the channel. At least it makes them go away when I look for my unanswered comments, which I do. In order to get them off of that list, I have to do something with them. I have to hide the user, remove the comment, answer it, or love it. And I just can't bring, I usually put a heart there, no matter how bad it is, but there's some comments I just can't. I can't bring myself to give a heart to. And since I have to answer them, I will usually answer them with the letter K or OK. And that gets them out of my face. If that insults them or they're not happy about that, stop insulting me, because those are the comments that insult me and insult my intelligence. And I'm an easygoing guy, but there's things all of us should draw the line somewhere and say, now you've gone too far. Questions, looking for the QQQs, and I will see them running by here. I want to do this before I leave for today. We have I already told you, a private community live stream tonight. They're a lot of fun. And I hope to see all of you guys there. Jemmett chimed in at 9:12. I'm only a half an hour behind now. Good morning, Jem. How are you? Good to see you. Said hi to Tammy, Tuka, Lori, Graceful. I think I got most of you. CB Carmack. Good morning, everybody. But I'm going to run down. If I get to the bottom of the channel, spend a little time. Here we go. Question, QQQ. Are there additional reasons? Yes, I got that one. Saw that one live. Okay. Maybe I'm not that far behind. Going here, keep going. Sun shining today, but they're, of course, predicting rain. Tuka says my voice is calming. That's nice. That's nice. We have somebody I don't recognize. Judy Porterfield. Good morning, Judy. Good morning to you. Welcome. Welcome to the Madhouse. Good to see you. I hope you come back. I try to pick these things out as they fly by. Oh, compliment. They light up on my screen too. Love Mitch. Recipes are so simple and keep me on track. I hope so. And I'm really going to make a thing out of this intermittent lion thing. I'm really going to. I don't know where these things come to me, but I think for me, it's a great compromise between the actual strictness of lion diet. And I don't have to be a lion diet because I don't have to eliminate chicken and fish. I don't have any adverse reactions. I'm not eating any plants anyway. But the mental idea of saying, today's a cheat day, what do I want? I want to eat bacon and eggs. I love it. I haven't eaten them for 2 days. And I was probably eating too much bacon anyway. I don't think we should. I think the only thing we should eat too much of would be, I think, beef maybe eggs. But there are things in egg whites, maybe. Like Ken Berry said, anti-nutrients. Maybe you shouldn't eat eggs every day. Maybe you should load up on them every third day, which is what I'm going to do. I think it's going to be better for me from everything that I've learned in the past 3 years and learned from many years of being low-carb and keto before that. I'm not new to this low-carb lifestyle. I've been doing it longer than most people I know have been alive. I started in 1972 reading Atkins' book. That's over 50 years ago. So this is not new to me. This is not new to me. And I keep trying to fine-tune it for myself and eventually settle on carnivore. But I think I can make it better without making too much of a radical change, just by timing and doing the most nutritious foods a couple of days in a row, and then have fun. Have fun. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun planning. It'll be fun planning out. Oh, God, cheat day tomorrow. Today is a cheat day for me. So I'm planning. What am I going to have? I'll start with bacon and eggs, but what am I going to have for my second meal? I took out some chicken thighs from the freezer, let them defrost. But I don't know. Maybe I'm in the mood to take a can of that wild-caught salmon that I have and mix some pork rind crumbs in it, fry it up, and make salmon croquettes, salmon patties, fried in baking grease. Maybe loading up would be really nice and a real treat. Or maybe I'll do the same thing with some shrimp. But that gives you an opportunity to have some fun, look forward to something different. And then tomorrow we'll have beef. And the day after we'll have beef. And I love it because it's so simple. So simple and easy. You don't have to think about it. But every third day, you can have a treat. But your treat is still among the healthiest things that you can eat. We'll see. We'll see how I'm not just looking for how I feel. I'm looking for how content I am. How natural it is to do this. That's the important thing. Otherwise, no matter what you're doing, if you're not happy with it, if you feel like something's missing ever, you're not going to sustain it. I don't care how strong-willed you think you are. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Let's see. I-922, catching up, looking for the cues. Jem says, Mitch, was there a rat under your chef hat? I thought. Now, that's another thing, and a huge concern. Should I wear it sticking straight up, or should I wear it beret style? The thing is huge. No matter how I wear it, I'm going to look stupid as hell in it. And I've already resigned myself to that. But it's shtick. It's a joke. The parody. One of the comments yesterday said that the height of a chef's hat is how they indicate his rank in the kitchen. The head chef's got the tallest hat. And it goes right on down the line between the sous chefs and, it ends up with the busboy, I guess. So I'll try next time to wear it straight up. But it's a big hat. It's funny. And it just goes where it wants to. But with the chef jacket on, I'm hoping to turn the look into a kind of a character that I can have an alter ego. Here comes Chef Mitch, that other guy with the rants all the time. He's not around today. Oh, the need to entertain. If you don't entertain people, I don't care how good how good you are, you're going to lose them. Got to keep them laughing if you can. Questions. Come on. If I missed some, I'm sorry. Here we go. What says, Mitch, who do you want to play you in the movie? I went, Kate Blanchett the baby. That's funny. That's funny. I hadn't thought about that. I doubt, number one, I think it would be just academic exercise because I doubt they'll ever make a movie about me. There's enough movies about me already on YouTube. Got it. If I had to sit and start watching all my videos and all my live streams starting in 2018, I don't think there's enough time left in my life to do that. It would be a full-time job, that's for sure. I might learn something, though, that I've forgotten since then. There has to be thousands and thousands of hours of me on YouTube. And I think about that as a legacy because when I go, that stuff's going to be there until somebody removes it. And wouldn't it be cool? Have you ever sat there and thought about how cool it would be? Let's say if they had YouTube in the days of your great-great-grandparents, and they had hundreds of hours of themselves, like home movies, that were still available on YouTube, that you could actually get to know, not just know the name of, or know that they existed, but get to know as a person. I wish I had, my grandparents had that, but they didn't. But we have it now. The sad fact, the way kids are today, where their focus is on technology, the sad fact is, even if all that stuff was out there, even if thousands of hours of my videos are out there, there is literally no chance that either of my grandchildren would ever watch any of it. I'm lucky to get them to talk to me now. The further we go as a human race, the younger generations get more and more separated and think less and less about their history, how they got here, who they came after. They get more and more narcissistic, self-absorbed, cell phone absorbed, internet absorbed, and their best friends in a few years will be some artificial intelligence program that tells them everything they want to hear and sells them everything it can get them to buy. That's the future of the human race right now. Elon Musk is talking about artificial intelligence and Grok 4 and some of the power of this thing. It's already smarter than any human being on the planet in knowledge. But in a year or two, it will be almost sentient and reasoning. That's scary shit. And if we were smart, we would nuke every one of the data centers that contains this kind of power, or we're going to end up like the Terminator, having the machines take over and decide. Because there's going to be robots, there's going to be robot dogs, there's going to be robot soldiers and robot cops, and all these robots plugged in. They're going to decide that wouldn't this world be a great place without these pesky human beings? And we'll have every one of these dystopian movies will come true. And it's happening so fast. I always used to think, well, it's going to come true someday, but I won't be around to see it. Well, I'm beginning to be scared that maybe I will still be around to see it. What are we thinking? Oh, I forgot. We're not thinking. Every other technology, without fail, that we thought was so great, from the nuclear bomb to now, has been weaponized as the most important use for it. When are the people in charge supposedly that we elect to be smart. When are they going to put a stop to some of this stuff that will not end well, can't end well? And the reason it can't is that human nature will not change. We are what we are because of who came before us. We can't change that. It's a given. We know how we'll react in different situations. And we never fail to follow the mold, follow the pattern. But I can't do anything about that, neither can you. Just try to avoid it if you can, because it's going to happen. Ricky, I haven't seen you here today. Good morning. Milton, Mitch Cam. I got a few other cameras I can stick up around here, but it gets kind of ridiculous to see me. I was doing that for a while. I had another camera off to the side. I would turn to it and say, "Back to you, Mitch," like the newscaster does. Going for the laughs. I got to the point I can't even watch the morning news anymore. I can't even stand the way these anchors sound. They all went to anchor school and they talk exactly the same. They all think they're Walter Cronkite and they try to sound like him. Chris Hope, my buddy, Chris Hope from Texas. How you doing, Chris? Good to see you. Chris has known me longer than any of you. One of my old drone buddies. What a great guy. Always happy to see you here. Still checking up on me. Checking up to make sure I'm still living. Thanks, Chris. Great to see you, man. I didn't say hi to DS111 today. How you doing? I wish I could start to get into this conversation here. I'll watch the replay. I'm not going to make a video today. On Thursdays, especially on Thursdays, I worked too hard already. I don't need to make a video. Yesterday, from the time I finished on this live stream at 10 minutes to 10, I finished early, until 3:15, when I posted that video I did yesterday, I only took time out to eat. And what I ate was the steak that I made in the video. So I started immediately recording that video. I made the steak. I ate the steak. Then I hit the editing. And the 360 camera requires you to edit the thing completely one time through. Then I have to put it in my Adobe editor and make the final video. Then I got to make sure it's right. And I got done. So I worked nonstop yesterday from 7:30 in the morning when I started to get ready for the stream until 3:15, which is a day's work, a full day's work, before I even said, okay, what else I got to do today? Well, tonight, I can't do that. I do that almost every day now. People don't realize how much time it takes if you want to be a YouTuber and make the fabulous, fabulous money that we all make. I hope you recognize sarcasm when you know it and when you see it. Use my links to buy stuff on Amazon, guys. That helps. Use my links. Go to my webpage. Type on links of stuff I use. If you don't want any of that stuff or you already bought it, which most of you have, the stuff you really wanted, just click on any one of those links. And the page on Amazon will open up. Forget about that page. Don't close the bar. Just go up to the search engine at Amazon and start shopping. They pay me for that. And it costs nobody a cent. All you got to do is say, well, and I don't even care if you don't. Think about it once in a while. If one person a day did that, I'd be great. Even my kids don't do that. They remember what my daughter told me yesterday. I used your link yesterday. Oh, thanks. That helps. That helps too. That keeps me from having to sit here and sell you shit all day long. Got another 3 sponsorship offers yesterday. one day, just for fun, I'm going to sit here. I have more. I save them, all those emails. I have hundreds and hundreds of them from some of the strangest things. I got one yesterday from Surfshark, VPN. They sponsor everybody. They want me to sponsor them. That means that I would have to take a minute out of my video and say, this video is brought to you by Surfshark. And then I'd have to go into a spiel about how dangerous it is. You hear that 1,000 times everywhere. That's the kind of stuff I don't want to have to do. So I ask you to use the links. Or buy me a coffee. But even that, I don't want people to buy me a coffee every day, once a month, a couple bucks. Otherwise, I feel kind of guilty. Ricky says, time for coffee. I agree. It is 10 o'clock. I've been at this for an hour and a half already. Hard to believe. And I will today sit down and relax and watch the entire live stream and read it. If I can take my eye off of me, because fascinating. I get fascinated watching myself do this. It's like watching somebody else. That guy's pretty good. Wow, what a nice shirt. Retired Brick's here. How you doing, Retired Brick? Did I see in my YouTube feed? Yeah. It said, I started smoking again? I think that was you. Welcome, Rick. Smoke them if you got them. Nobody should tell you what to do. Nobody should be able to say, you shouldn't do that. Do what you want, man. You're a grown-up. You're not a kid anymore. You want to smoke? Smoke. We can't say we don't like you because of that, or shame on you because of that. Same thing with what you eat. Retired Rick says, laughing, yeah, it's true. It's like people, I'm right there with you, buddy. That's like telling a 90-year-old guy, you better quit smoking. And the guy, why the hell? I'm 90. What am I saving it for God's sakes? And I feel that way about cigars. I've been doing it all my life. And I don't want to give it up. But if people don't want to watch me, well, I can't watch you. You smoke cigars. You're not a real carnivore. You drink coffee. Go away. For Christ's sake, Rick, don't worry about it. It takes guts to talk about it. Don't even be ashamed of yourself. If it's something you want to do, you know what you should do and what you shouldn't. We all put enough pressure on ourselves to do the right thing. We don't need other people coming at us telling us what we're doing wrong. God, those people drive me nuts. All right, I got down to the bottom of the chat. Wow. Look at that. Yeah. All right. That may be an end to this madness yet today. My friends. Yes, sir. Little happy music for you. I've said enough. I'll say some more later. Tonight, 7 o'clock, come and see me. And most of us at the private community live stream, 7 p.m. Rick says, I've been told I'm wrong my whole life. Yeah, we all have. We all have by holier than thou pricks. I'm sorry. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy. Condescending, patronizing. Don't be that person, guy or gal. You see somebody else, don't be so judgmental. You can judge them, but don't let them know. They don't want to hear it. Tell them, you should do this. No. Tell them, you're a grown-up. Do what you want. Leave me out of it. Say goodbye to your friends. Judy Porterfield says, bye all. Lori Weissel waving at us says, is Graceful Lily. Jem, bye all. Was fun. It was fun. It's a great stream today. Danny says goodbye. Meathead. Eat meat, be happy, no slow. Gary. Gary hanging in there the whole time. Thanks, Gary. Tammy Petard, Slat, Ricky, Sandy Blythe, Rick, retired Rick, all kinds of Ricks. Grace Lily, 27 thumbs up. And here comes the end of the music. And with that, my friends, in a flurry of professionalism, I will end this for now. And we will see you tonight, 7 p.m. Until then, you can't take the rest of the day off. You can take that middle chunk of the day off and eat meat.